What's going on, everyone? I want to cover a strategy or setup, right? This is a setup that you guys can use for trading the futures. I'm a prop firm trader. I also trade options and equities. This is something that I kind of look for on a day in and day out basis. Now, again, if you're a day trader or a scalper, think of yourself almost as, a construction worker with a lot of tools in their tool belt, right? Each strategy, each setup is a different tool that you can use to try to generate money. Make sure you're always managing your risk appropriately. Again, all of the information that I share here is just things that I utilize in my day-to-day trading. Maybe I pass some information along that you guys can use as well. If you guys need more information, I've got a free Discord where you guys can come in there and get a lot of educational content, lessons. I've stripped some lessons from a previous course that I had. That's all included for free. You can get involved in the chat room with the community. I also do offer a live trading portion as well. We live trade Monday through Friday. That you can become a gold member too and get into that. But let's cover this setup, right? So first things first, you're going to notice a lot of stuff going on my chart, right? I just want to ignore everything right now except for this blue line down here, okay? This blue line right here and this green line, okay? Now, on all my charts, I run a daily simple moving average, and I run the 5 SMA daily and I run the 10 SMA daily. And the reason being is those are going to be the two nearest term sentiment moving averages that are probably going to come into play multiple times throughout the week as we bounce off of them, as we lose them, as we reclaim them. And these setups sometimes, today actually provided some really good downside off the open. It was, very picture perfect in terms of you get a nice flush, you get a back test, and then you get another flush. You get a back test into supply, which is my 20 SMA, and then you get a continuation. But what I want to cover is something right here, right? I want you guys to start getting familiar with price action in candlesticks off of key levels. So if you get this big downwards move, right? Think about this as its first leg, okay? And I want to give you guys something that I tend to notice. But normal pullbacks in the market, if they're going to be big pullbacks, you get two-legged pullbacks, okay? And then you get a short-term reversal. So if you think about this as one big leg, right? This is your first bounce. And then you think about this as another big leg. This is your first leg. This is your second leg. And then you get that bounce. Now you can see you put in a high here. You put in a lower high here, right? So the trend is obviously down. We want to be sticking to the short-sided trades, right? We want to be sticking to the short-sided trades. Again, there's a lot of short ideas I can give you guys as well. Here's a big flush. Here's a flag pattern. Take the flush, right? Again, simple. Where do you manage your stop? Put it over the swing high. Here's a back test into the 20 SMA. Here's a flag pattern. Here's the break of the flag pattern. And then, it kind of comes back. It never takes out the swing high, and then it flushes, right? But I want to cover this right here. These daily moving averages. These candlesticks right here. I want to be familiar, and I want you guys to get familiar with doji candles and with hammer candles and inverse hammer candles, or things that kind of look similar to a doji candle. I call them indecision candles. I call them pause candles. And definitely look for those hammer candles and dojis. But don't just look for the hammer candles and dojis at any point in time, right? Like, I can make a case that, here's a hammer candle 5 minutes into the close. It did nothing, right? There's nothing really going on, right? I can make a case that, this is a green engulfing candle. Market's going to reverse. And then you get stopped out. No, we need to make sure that we are taking these reversals type setups off of macro supply or demand. So that doesn't mean, we just bounced into, my 9 EMA, right? On a 1 minute time frame, and it gave me a hammer candle. I'm going to go long. It might work, but the odds of it being a long-lived play are slim to none. So I want to see it on big macro channels. Here's a situation where we just absolutely sell off for 2.5 hours off the open, and we actually lose and sweep the daily 10 and 5 and immediately get engulfed, immediately put in a strong wick to the downside, and we reclaim not only the 10 but the 5 as well. I want to see a sweep of those levels, and then I want to see a closure back over, because now I can put on risk where I can go long on the confirmation above the candle that closes back in the range. I can give myself the previous wick right here as a stop loss. This is going to create a channel here, and it's going to create a little bit of a demand zone, right? So as long as we don't trade below that, we want to stay holding long. In this bounce here, because the drop was so significant, this bounce goes from 21,364. And even if you're targeting your 20 SMA supply, right, assuming that we're just going to bounce into the supply and get rejected, you could have taken this from 21,362 to 21,430. So you're talking about a 50 plus point move, 60 plus point move. Now, how do I play it? I like to find these setups when they happen. I like to scalp them for 15 or 20 points. I draw out my zone, like you can see here. This is left on my chart from today. I just draw out my zone. As soon as we break above it, I enter here, and I just put a stop loss there. If we break down below it, I just get out. And I look for 15 or 20 points. Very simple. So I'm going to be getting out here. I'm going to be getting out here. I'm going to be getting out right here. I'm not really going to wait for it to try to retest this area. I like to just get green and get out. I leave a lot of money on the table, but that's fine, right? Because I can identify this little move here for 15 to 20 points a lot more than I can catch a 70-point runner. That's just me. It's my experience. It's how I trade. You can definitely move stop loss to break even. You can definitely trail where you start unloading and scaling out here and scaling out here and keep moving this stop loss up and up and up and up until you eventually get tagged out. You can definitely do that as well. To be honest, I don't have the effing patience for it. I really wish that I did. And again, that's not to say that any which way is better. You can do this, right? Where you're going to catch 2, 3, 4R trades. And you can do it my way, right? Where you're looking for like a 1-to-1. You're looking for like a, 1.5 to 1. You're sometimes looking for a 0.5 to 1. You can do it that way. It's going to be a much higher win rate. Looking for the quick scalps, obviously, than the 2, 3, 4Rs. But again, if you hear that someone trades where they're scaling and moving stop losses up and trying to do things by the book in the right way, and you don't think that's the right way, that'd be like me telling them, oh, I don't think you should do that because you're going to have a lower win rate. No, if you can do it and it matches your personality, do it. For me, it doesn't match my personality. I've been trading for 13 years and it just never has matched my personality. I always hated swing trading, options. I can swing trade stocks all day long because guess what? I know that I'm not going to go to zero on my stock plays. Options, I can't do it. The premium will go to zero. Same thing with futures. I can't do it because especially on a lot of these prop firms, you have trailing drawdown, you have small overall drawdowns that they're giving you. I just don't like to be green and then go red. I don't like to be green and go flat. So I'm always going to take my 15, 20 points, sometimes 10 points. Right? You back a 10 point, 15 point trade with the right amount of size, you're definitely going to be in the money. Look at this play here. Look at where we flush yet again this 10 SMA daily, this daily 10 SMA. Put this on your chart, guys. It'll show up on your 5 minute, it'll show up on your 1 minute, it'll show up on your 15, it'll show up on every time frame. This daily 10 gets broken and lost again. And look at what happens right here. Not only do we break it, we immediately reclaim it. So now you've got a stop loss right below the lows. This is your zone. This is your stop loss zone. And you're getting in when we confirm the highs. And again, 10, 15, 20 point scalp, you'll be getting in at a price of like 355-ish, after slippage, after you click the button finally. 355 goes all the way up to 378. Guys, this is 15 to 25 points in this range. Right? 15 to 25 points in this range right into supply, right? Right into supply. So start looking for those, start to see if you can find those setups. Again, it helps me. Maybe it'll help you. Again, if you guys want to join the Discord, come on in, guys. Let's build a team. Let's get more people in there. Let's get interactive. I'm doing a very, very cool thing for gold members in Evolution Traders. Pursuit to 3K challenge. So the pursuit to 3,000, we're going to follow a specific scaling plan, number of contracts that we're going to trade, daily loss limit, specific price targets. We're going to be journaling our trades. We're going to be sharing our trades. We're going to be posting our losses. We're going to be taking very minimal trades a day and walking away. We are focused on trying to make $3,000 in these funded accounts in a matter of 30 days or less. If it takes a little longer, so be it. but we are working on one goal as a team, and I think it's holding a lot of people accountable. Today was actually day one, and I got a lot of good feedback on it, and it kind of keeps the room fresh. It keeps the room very, very fresh. It keeps the room active, the community very, very active. So if you guys want that, when you join Evolution Traders, make sure to go for the gold package. Spoiler alert, to become a gold member, it's $25 a month, okay? If you want access to Monday through Friday live trading, $25 a month. If you want access to the Pursuit to 3K challenge, $25 a month. If you just want to come in and learn, I have over 25 channels completely free. Chat channels, intraday channels, indices channels, education and learning channels, risk management channels, a community chat channel. That's all free, guys. You can come in here and be a part of the team for free. But if you want the little bit extras because you're a little bit more serious, $25 a month. By the way, Apex is 90% off. You guys know I got to do the housekeeping. Apex is 90% off, guys. If you need evaluation accounts, you can use code DAnthony. Yes, they throw me about $2 right now. They throw me about $2 for every time someone signs up. Full transparency, right? I sell 5 of these things. I can afford to buy a cup of coffee. With that being said, guys, I'll see all of you guys on the next video. Make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys would try this strategy or setup. It's more of a setup. Would you guys try this setup? I'm curious to know if you guys would try this setup. Again, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.